A single blood pressure reading that seems harmless could be a fragile bridge leading straight to a stroke, or a quiet sign that your body is at peace. Which truth is waiting to be revealed? My name is Ethan Marshall. I'm a 60-year-old physician practicing here in the United States, and for more than 3 decades in medicine, I've seen countless people who thought they were perfectly healthy, only to find themselves standing on the edge of serious illness. What shocks me time and again is how a single blood pressure, number one that looks harmless, can be the ticket to a sudden heart attack or an unexpected stroke. Many people believe they're fine, and then overnight their entire life changes. If you recognize how serious this is, take a moment right now to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video so we can keep creating meaningful content that helps more people understand and protect their heart health. Now picture this, you've just had your annual checkup and your blood pressure reads 136/86. Your doctor tells you it's a little high, but not dangerous yet. Curious. You pull out your phone, type it into Google, and find out you're technically in stage 1 hypertension. Then your gym buddy laughs it off saying, "Mine's always 150, and I feel perfectly fine." Suddenly, you're stuck with the question spinning in your mind. Am I healthy? Am I on the borderline? Or am I already sick? This contradiction leaves many people confused and pushes them into 2 extremes, either brushing it off completely or panicking unnecessarily. The truth is, this isn't just your story. Millions of people are living in that gray zone between health and disease. So what exactly is normal blood pressure? Is it really just about a single number, or is there something more complex behind it? And have you ever wondered why 3 different sources, a doctor, the internet, and a friend, can give you 3 completely different answers to the exact same reading? The answer you choose will shape how you take care of your body for years to come. And before we go further, I'll leave you with a question. If your blood pressure is 136/86, what would you think? A, normal, nothing to worry about. B, a warning sign that deserves more attention. Share your choice in the comments because your perspective might just help someone else take a closer look at their own health. When it comes to blood pressure, we usually look to official guidelines set by medical organizations to define what counts as normal and what signals disease. According to the current Indian guidelines, optimal blood pressure is defined as anything below 120/80 mmHg. If your numbers fall between 120 and 129 systolic and 80 to 84 diastolic, that's still considered normal. However, if your blood pressure reaches 130 to 139 systolic or 85 to 89 diastolic, you're placed in the pre-hypertensive category, which is considered an early warning stage. Readings between 140 and 159 systolic or 90 and 99 diastolic fall into stage 1 hypertension, and anything beyond 160/100 is categorized as stage 2 hypertension. What's notable is that in the United States, the American Heart Association (AHA) and the American College of Cardiology (ACC) have drawn stricter lines. They classify blood pressure readings of 130/80 or higher as stage 1 hypertension. And they recommend patients start making lifestyle changes immediately at this stage, with medication sometimes being necessary. This difference between countries and regions such as India and the US reflects distinct approaches to prevention and treatment. One could be seen as more practical and lenient, while the other is proactive and early intervening in order to reduce long-term risk. Still, all of these classification systems should be understood as guiding tools, not absolute standards that apply equally to every individual. They are valuable for helping health systems shape public strategies and for giving physicians a way to categorize community-wide risks. Yet numbers on their own cannot fully capture an individual's health status. The key takeaway is that a person's blood pressure must always be interpreted in context with age, medical history, lifestyle, and genetics in mind. A single reading should never be viewed in isolation, but instead as part of the larger picture of overall health. That's why understanding both international and national guidelines is only the first step. The next is working with your doctor to build a plan that's tailored to you. When we look deeper into the reality of blood pressure, it becomes clear that there is no single standard that applies to everyone, because the human body functions under unique conditions shaped by age, lifestyle, underlying health problems, and cardiovascular risk factors. The same blood pressure reading can carry very different meanings, depending on the context. For example, a 65-year-old patient with a history of diabetes and smoking, who shows a reading of 134/84 mmHg is already facing danger since his cardiovascular system is weakened and the risk of complications is high. In contrast, a 34-year-old woman who is slightly overweight but has no chronic conditions, with the exact same reading may only need to adjust her lifestyle, cutting back on salt and staying physically active. This demonstrates that treatment cannot be based solely on numbers, but must take into account the whole picture of a person's health and their level of risk. Scientific evidence reinforces this point. The well-known Framingham Heart Study, one of the longest-running and most respected studies on cardiovascular health, showed that risk begins to rise at 115/75 mmHg, and with every 20 mmHg increase in systolic blood pressure, the likelihood of heart disease, stroke, or kidney failure doubles. More strikingly, a study published in The Lancet on diabetic patients in India revealed that vascular damage could already be detected at 125/80 mmHg, far below the threshold many still consider safe. This highlights how accompanying conditions such as diabetes, high cholesterol, or a family history of heart disease can dramatically alter the meaning of what seems like a normal reading. On the other end of the spectrum, low blood pressure deserves attention too. Some individuals maintain readings around 90/60, yet remain completely healthy, alert, and symptom-free. For them, that may be their personal normal. However, if low readings are accompanied by dizziness upon standing, persistent fatigue, fainting, or difficulty concentrating further, evaluation is needed, as these symptoms could indicate pathologic hypotension caused by medication, dehydration, arrhythmias, or neurological disorders. From these findings, the lesson is clear. Cardiovascular risk builds up silently over time and is profoundly influenced by the broader health context. It is a mistake to focus only on the numbers while ignoring the underlying factors that ultimately determine whether a blood pressure reading is harmless or a hidden threat. When it comes to addressing blood pressure, the key principle to understand is that the goal is not to drive the numbers as low as possible, but to maintain a level that ensures steady blood flow to the brain, heart, and kidneys. Blood pressure should be seen as a dynamic balance. Too high places continuous strain on the arterial walls, leading to degeneration and complications, while too low reduces organ perfusion, leaving the body fatigued, low in energy, and vulnerable to circulatory collapse. Within this framework, personalizing treatment targets becomes essential. For high-risk groups such as adults over 60, patients with diabetes, chronic kidney disease, prior history of heart attack, stroke, or coronary interventions, as well as those with central obesity and sedentary lifestyles, stricter control is often necessary, with optimal targets around 125/75 mmHg to minimize cardiovascular and renal complications. Beyond clinical targets, practical solutions lie in lifestyle adjustments. A diet low in sodium, limited in processed foods, and rich in vegetables and whole grains forms the foundation of blood pressure management. Maintaining a healthy weight and exercising regularly, such as brisk walking for at least 30 minutes daily, can strengthen the cardiovascular system and ease the burden on blood vessels. Adequate restorative sleep and stress management practices, like meditation, deep breathing, or relaxation activities, have also been proven to stabilize blood pressure over the long term. The perspective offered in Arnold Ehret's Rational Fasting, commonly translated as Eat to Heal, adds an important dimension. He emphasizes the gut as the root of health. Excess consumption of foods that create mucus, such as meat, dairy, and refined starches, can impair the body's filtering and elimination functions, leaving the blood heavier and the vessel walls under greater strain. By cleansing the gut with a diet abundant in fresh fruits, vegetables, and minimally processed foods, Circulation becomes lighter and cleaner, easing vascular stress and allowing blood pressure to be managed more sustainably. Another critical element is proper measurement technique. Many patients experience unnecessary anxiety because their readings are skewed by posture timing, recent activity, or faulty equipment. The standard is to measure after resting at least 5 minutes seated upright with the arm at heart level and to take multiple readings throughout the day, averaging the results for accuracy. Only when we combine individualized targets, lifestyle changes, dietary cleansing, and correct monitoring techniques can we build a foundation for lasting blood pressure control, one that protects long-term health rather than reacting to a single number on a machine. As we bring this journey of understanding blood pressure to a close, it's essential to emphasize that these readings are not just lifeless numbers on a machine, but reflections of each individual's unique health story. Every measurement is tied to personal context, age, genetics, daily habits, and underlying conditions. This is why applying a single danger threshold to everyone is misleading. Cardiovascular risk doesn't suddenly appear once blood pressure reaches 140/90. It silently accumulates at much lower levels, wearing down arteries and organs day by day, until the consequences erupt unexpectedly as a stroke or heart attack. Blood pressure should therefore be seen as an early signal and invitation to act preventively, not just react when illness has already taken hold. The lesson here is that comparing yourself to others is a mistake. A reading that feels normal for one body can be a hidden threat to another, especially in the presence of diabetes, kidney disease, or high cholesterol. Instead of saying others are fine with this, so I must be too, the better question is, what blood pressure is truly safe for me? That answer can only be found through professional guidance, regular monitoring, and setting personalized goals. Acting early remains the golden rule because waiting until your blood pressure climbs higher is like waiting for a storm to break before fixing your roof. Sustainable solutions come not from obsessing over one number, but from everyday consistency, eating with balance, exercising regularly, managing weight, getting enough sleep, and easing stress. Combined with the cleansing mindset emphasized by Arnold Ehret in his philosophy of eating to heal, focusing on light, natural, minimally processed foods that support clean blood and healthy vessels, these steps create the foundation for long-term stability. The deeper takeaway is this: health cannot be measured by numbers alone. It must be viewed within the totality of the body, lifestyle, and personal risk. In practice, start small, reduce salt by just 1 spoonful at meals. Dedicate 30 minutes a day to brisk walking and keep a log of your readings to track trends, rather than focusing on one isolated result. These small, steady actions are the bricks that fortify your heart and brain for the future. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Which do you believe matters more for keeping blood pressure in check? A. Managing your diet, or B. Staying physically active? Share your choice in the comments so we can learn together. If this content has been valuable to you, fill out the form in the description to receive a free ebook on healing health. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to help spread knowledge and support us in creating more resources for the community.